You can find me online with FOSDEM. I'm going to talk about my 10-year journey with FOSSASIA. A little bit of background. I come from Vietnam, a city called Can Tho. It's about 170 kilometers down of Ho Chi Minh City. So 10-year journey. So I want to talk first about my first 19 years. From 1987 to 2006, so I label this period in the period before FOSS, and I don't remember so much about this time, but there are a few things that I would like to highlight here. The first thing is that my grandparents never gave me a birthday present, not me or my sister, because my father was the only son who did not have any son. So because of still the Chinese Asian mindset, they more refer to have a grandson than a granddaughter. So my grandparents never gave us a birthday present. The second thing is no weekends. My parents worked really hard. They never have a weekend off so that my sister and I can have a proper education and better future. The third thing that I remember, I always want to enroll in a dance team in school, but actually not everyone allowed to participate in this course. Only the people who have very good background from noble families, their parents have a good reputation. Then they got selected by the school to be the elite group of the school. So we don't get a chance to do the things that we like. Even my sister and I, we sometimes got bullied by the schoolboy. Not something major, but that we just don't feel comfortable around these people, but just as kid. And the second thing I remember, they always dreamed to travel outside of the country. And until I complete my university, I did not know what I want to do in life. So I did not figure out what would be the vision for my life. And then this is the period after I learned about FOSS 2007 until now. So I can buy myself a birthday present if I want to. I can buy 10 or 20, but I never did because shopping consumes a lot of time. My parents now, they have Sunday afternoon off. Even though they don't need to work anymore, they're still really hard working. I have my own team at FOSSASIA, and if I want to join any team, people are very welcome me on board. So I create my own opportunity, and since the past 12 years, I never got bullied by anyone in the community or anyone whom I work with. I don't dream of traveling anymore because basically I can just travel to anywhere I want. I have a life vision. I know exactly what I want to do and what I want to achieve in life. And now I'm going to go back a little bit about what happened in 2007. So that was the first time I learned about the idea of FOSS at a conference in Hanoi called FOSS Bridge. And then also in the same year, I switched from Windows XP to Ubuntu. I have the logo there originally, but I thought maybe some people will not be happy, so I covered the logo there, but this is the old logo of Ubuntu. And then I just want to emphasize here, so I was really impressed with Ubuntu because of the software manager. You can easily download application, but it was not the only reason that engaged me into the open source community. It's not the software, but actually the people in the community. I learned so much from the developers, and I always really surprised how people can be devoted 20, 15 years at that time into one particular project and create something that being used by the entire world. This is something that really got me inspired. And when I joined the community, everyone really welcoming. They don't look at me like that, okay, you don't know anything, we don't talk to you. But the people in the community really spend several hours to explain to you things and try to help you to move forward. This is a picture that I taken from yesterday, the FOSSASIA meetup, and in some of the photos are some of the people that I really like. One of my favorite people in the community, which is sitting here in the front row, Carson. And because of this community, I meet so many awesome people that what made me engage more in open source. In 2009, me and my partner decided that we want to form an organization called FOSSASIA. It's like community trying to connect people together to work on open technology, to help more people in Asia to contribute to open source. And we started our first ever event in Ho Chi Minh City. At that time, it was the Gnome Asia. It was also the first open source event ever in the country. 1,400 people show up, and we have a lot of interest from the young people to get involved. And then from 2009, from one event, we organize now many events and meet up throughout Asia. One of our biggest events is in Singapore every year in March. And throughout the year, we have events in China, India, and many other places. But that's not the only thing we do. So the FOSSASIA community developed a lot of software by working together. So these are a few of them. You can check out on the FOSSASIA GitHub. FOSSASIA A, I'm going to give a talk about FOSSASIA A tomorrow in the afternoon. LogLab, which is our search Twitter harvest engine. And then we have an Android application that can upload your photo in different services. Event.ea, our own event management system, like to run events and many more. In 2010, it was my first time ever enter Europe, and it was Brussels at that time. I got invited to speak at the LibreRapid meeting, and it was also a very nice experience for me. This is a picture that I took with some of the participants. I believe some of them might be here today, and we are still friends. We keep in touch since 2010. 2011, FOSSASIA be part of the G-Stock Google Summer of Code, and thank you for the program. We got a lot of students on board and involved in the development of our project. In 2012, we built the open source hotel in Vietnam. The idea is that we try to create a place where people can meet, and we host a lot of developers in the community. The game developer, DBN developer, they set our place for some time. In the same year, we organized the Open Design Week, introduced to the local people how to work with open source tool to make art and design. In 2015, I heard about FOSDEM for many years. The FOSSASIA Summit also got inspiration from FOSDEM, but 2015 was my first time attend the event. And this is some of the pictures that I took with the people that I met here. Again, a very nice experience. We got to connect with a lot of friends and people that you know from the community. In 2016, the FOSSASIA ran our first season of Code Hit. The idea of this program is to guide the young students how to contribute to open source feed pull requests. And every season, we have about 650 to 1,000 participants with a lot of mentors from everywhere. 2019, recently we released our open hardware device, which is called Pocket Science Lab. It is like, how do I explain this? A built-in device with oscilloscope, logic analyzer, and many other instruments. The firmware is open source. We also create an app, everything open source except for the chip, but it's going to be changed in the next version. In 2018, also, the first time FOSSASIA has an assembly at the CCC. I also gave a talk at the CCC, and something that very nicely, I got a sports car sent to the FOSSASIA assembly every day at the conference. So to see that how people really connected in the conference. And 2019, in March, are going to be our 10th anniversary. We have going to have a big celebration in Singapore. If by chance you are there, you can come and join us. We are in K building at the FOSSASIA stand. If you want to learn more about our project, you can meet us there. I think that's it.
Okay, thank you very much. Very well within the time. We have quite some time left, actually. Is there some of you that have questions you would like to ask? No? I don't see anyone.
What happens at the Open Source Hotel? Are there any conferences?
We host a workshop and meetup, regular workshop, like to show people how to use Git or how to work with Python. It's still running. hotelsoy.com if you want to check it out.
Okay, if there's no other questions, I guess we can thank once more. And you can visit the stand in Building K if you would like to talk more. So thank you very much.
Yes, and I also just want to thank you, the video team, for making the stream and everything possible for everyone to see. Thank you very much.
We have like a little... what's that?
Sorry, you mentioned very casually that you made a hotel. You were talking about small projects, and then all of a sudden, and we made a hotel. How did you manage to finance making a hotel, or how did you do this?
Well, the hotel is built in Vietnam, so we already have the land from our parents and the labor cost. So we have to calculate like every time, but it's possible. So it's not like something a huge project like what you can imagine here. But we very hardworking. We have some saving and we have the support of the family, so we make it possible.
Okay, that's great.